right. What is happening, everybody? Hang on a second. I'm going to launch this here. As we wait to get started, let's just shoot the breeze a little bit, man. Let's people pile on here. All right. So you had a birthday party yesterday.
Yeah, the eldest got technically she turns 2 next week, but with Father's Day weekend, it's 15th is when her birthday is, so we wanted to make sure that she had her time in the limelight, so that it wasn't in Father's Day weekend. So, so we had the whole fam and all of her friends. It was 100 degrees out. Oh, having a dance party in the backyard. I'm awesome. Burnt. You probably can't even tell. I can't see it on my screen.
I see. I don't know. I see a little something right here.
Yeah, it's even. I have to use it.
Skin.
Yeah, skin. I got the Irish in me. I have to use SPF 100, and so my brother makes fun of me all the time. I'm like, sorry,
your brother. So he's opposite, I guess. He probably.
Yeah, I mean, he tans a little bit better. But my wife Melissa, she's I think was she 16th? Yeah, she's 16th Cherokee. So she even if she gets red, it's very light, and then she's dark for the rest of the. So I'm hoping
that's kind of how it is with me too, because I got a lot of Native American ancestry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't, my grandfather, he didn't even have facial hair, right? My grandfather and my dad's brother, just no facial hair, just black hair, right? And dude, they just don't get burned. They just don't.
Yeah. Well, her father, it's weird. He's 1/8 or whatever. He can walk through a patch of poison ivy, and it doesn't even affect him.
Yeah. Wow.
He's immune to poison ivy and poison oak. It's weird, but he's always pointing it out to me when we're mushroom hunting and everything. I'm like, because I am not immune to poison oak.
The opposite of immune, right? It's anaphylaxis.
Yeah, you see the vines actually crawling out towards me.
Oh man! So, hey, we got 3 people on the line here. Oh, 2 or 3. Let's see. Who is this? I don't know. I don't even know who it can be.
Yeah.
Can you tell? I can't tell.
If you're on, say hi.
Yeah, if you're on, give us a shout out. We want to talk to you. We got some good stuff we're covering tonight. As a matter of fact, the big thing that we want to cover tonight, you know what? I will let you go ahead and
you want me to shoot it down? Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 big drum roll, please. We've got 3 big things to quickly talk about. As many of you can see, over the last few days, that we're starting to roll out the details of some of the nominations that are actually open right now, and we want to get as many high quality nominations in as possible. So we look through the thread, read the descriptions, the 3 awards that have been going on. Right, meow. But these individuals are so highly regarded historically within the nursing profession as men, and they rightfully have an award named after them. And to receive these awards it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. And so I know that there's a lot of us out there that deserve recognition, that are doing the same things as these 3 great men have done. So the first one being the Luther Chrisman Award. He's actually one of the first founders of our association. And I'll go ahead and look at the details. I won't bore you and read it to you, because I know all of you can read. And the other one is the Lee Cohen Award. It actually used to be the Member of the Year Award, but we renamed it after Dr. Lee Cohen. And then the third one, which we haven't posted yet, is Dr. Gene Trenberger. And he's done so much research as a male nurse. And that's kind of pointed towards individuals that are doing great things in research as well. So be looking for that. Now, the fourth one that's brand new, that's going to be coming out, is called the Emerging Leader Award. And the criteria is very similar to the others, other than the limitation is someone who's been in the profession for 4 years or less, and are doing great things for the communities and the profession. So
that's exciting, man. That'll be a good. I mean, can you imagine having that award? New leader award, upcoming leader award. You know, that'd be great to have in the portfolio.
Absolutely. So we want as many people as you can to nominate yourself. That's okay. You know, you don't have to be too, it's not in vain, you know, because we blindly look at these objectively through a rubric. So even if you nominate yourself, we welcome that, because, you know, you may deserve it. You really may deserve it. And
I'm sure you all are very stellar at everything that you do.
So those are the three. The other thing I wanted to talk about quickly is that last week, the board of directors, we got the okay to officially welcome. I know that you may have noticed that there's some great international members that have been joining recently, and it's kind of a start or phase in our international wing that we're starting up with a task force. Is that we're getting playback. But so what we're doing right now is we want to invite them in, these individuals that we're going to work with, to one, we've already established an affiliate organization in Nigeria, and we have a lot of great members here, and more are on the way to join the group to talk and interact. As well as Haiti, we do a lot of good work down in Haiti, and we have a lot of great colleagues that have joined from Haiti as well. And we're working with Ireland in its infancy right now to help start an affiliate there too. So great things are happening. What the benefits that and so they'll be here as non-voting members, because right now in our bylaws we're restricted in regards to what that looks like internationally, but we wanted to bring them in and start networking and starting to bounce ideas off them so we can start growing this. When we open our bylaws in October, we can maybe get something more solidified, or it may have to wait till the next time, because we just really haven't developed and had those conversations yet, but we need to have them here to have those conversations. So if you see people that are from overseas, out of the country, welcome them in. Non-voting rights, they will have access to the Facebook group, and then be able to come to the invitation to our national conference at membership prices. So those are the two big benefits that come out of it. But unfortunately, yet, obviously, since they're not a dues-paying member, they will not be able to vote for bylaws or anything like that. But I think that's okay. All of them that I've talked to, they are so excited. Just for the networking purposes and to see where this goes. So, it's a great thing.
And it's, you know, sky's the limit with this thing. I mean, we're the American Association for Men in Nursing, but man, when I see this, I see International Association for Men in Nursing, man. I mean, it could be as big as we want to take it, you know, and I just, it's good. It's fun to be a part of this thing.
Yeah. And well, since we've gone more to the social media platform, I mean, this is a global platform, and the interest on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook has just blown up.
I get it all the time, man. People reach out to me on Twitter all the time from all over the world. How do I get started in one of these? You know, they'll say, "How do I get started in your organization?" I'm like, well, you know, we can't really do that yet. You know, maybe.
Yet is the key word. Right. And then so that's the international members. So again, welcome them. And then the third announcement I've got is it's not too late for those chapters that are already established to submit for best workplace and best school. This is a recognition we give out every year to chapters and health systems that are community-based chapters. That really have put a lot of work in to bring parity into their workforce and student population. And so I think that the deadline sometime in July, I think it's July 15th.
Plenty of time. Still got plenty of time.
Contact Bonnie Schmidt, and her contact information is underneath the Best Workplace, Best School on the AAMN website. She can help you through that process with the recognition review committee. And we want to recognize as many people as we can. This is not like we only select 2, you know, per category. You know, if you meet the metrics and are doing great things, you will receive the recognition, but it has to meet certain metrics. You know, this is not just a pay and you get it. We really want to make this special. And I know for a fact that there's so many health systems and schools out there that are already doing this, doing great things. We want to recognize them for going down that road and really investing in that. So those are the announcements I've got. So what are we talking about today, Mike?
Hey man, we're going to show you guys how to start a chapter, and we're going to answer questions. Anybody that comes up, they might want to know. Hey, listen, I've been a member, and this has happened a lot, right? So I've just even people on our group page have commented in some of our shows in the past. I didn't even know they had chapters in Houston. I'm a member, but I don't know, how do I get started? Or maybe there's not a chapter in their area, and they're like, well, I might want to start a chapter. How do I go about doing that? So we're going to cover all the do's and don'ts of starting a chapter, whether you're a health system or you're, a college, and you're thinking, hey, it'd be cool to have a chapter here. So let's dig into it. It's 8:12, and so that gives us 17 minutes to crank it up. Let's get started. So let's just say, Blake, I am. So here I am in Dallas, right? And we had a chapter, I believe, in North Dallas, around Allen, I think. I'm now moved to Fort Worth. There's not a chapter over here. I'm thinking I want to start a chapter. So how do I decide? How do I get started?
So the first thing, because if you want to establish a chapter, you want to establish a sustainable chapter, and to do that, you need individuals and you need engagement and interest. So the first step, is the place of work or the school that you're attending. The first thing you want to do is gauge that interest. For health systems, I will say I can give a specific example how I went about it. I kind of floated it out to the senior leadership. A lot of health systems are already looking to go after how do we diversify our workforce, and a lot of times they don't think about, well, you know what, men, that is diversity in our profession, and it kind of gets overlooked sometime. So portraying it in that angle of approach is that, what's the biggest amount of people that you can tap into, and no matter where you are in the country, no matter about the demographics, is that men and women are distributed almost equally throughout the country. So if you want to diversify your workforce, and tap into 50% of individuals that could come into the profession, that's a good place to start. And what's cool about what comes with AAMN is you don't only have men as a diversity tool. Men are diverse as well. So it's the first step to open up the doorways to diversify your workforce. Yeah. And so that's kind of how I approached it to my CNO. And she's like, I never thought about that. That is a great way to start, somewhere to start, because no matter where you are in the country, no matter what the demographics look like, whether you're in rural Nebraska or you're in New York City, there's men and there's women.
There's dudes. Yeah, right.
And you take care of men and women, right?
Dudes. Yeah, exactly. There's less dudes in the profession than women, for sure.
Yeah.
No matter where you're at.
So that's where I start. So if you can get that interest from the senior leadership, especially kind of have an anchor where you have a place where you could have meetings, have meeting space, where you can have a place to distribute, to recruit. Right. That's another key aspect. So that's kind of the health system. Have like
weekly events too. Or monthly events. Like I know some of these chapters, man, they're just doing amazing. They get speakers from all over the area to come in, and they have these monthly events, and just so impressive, man, to bring people out. So to have some type of large conference room access where you don't have to pay for it, that's even better, right? Yeah.
And so on the flip side, if you think about gauging interest in a college or university, the most key again is the leadership. So go to your, it depends on the size of university, but some universities have a director of student engagement. They, obviously everyone has a president or a chancellor, or a dean, and bounce the same ideas off them and say, I want a group, a place, or have to diversify our student population. And we, AMN has these great leadership opportunities, which are still coming up. I mean, we only have a few right now, but there's a lot coming down the pipeline that are not only for men, but they're for women as well. And so we want to have those opportunities presented to not only yourself as starting the chapter, but all of your classmates as well. But the most key thing is to have faculty engaged in this and have them be members as well. So, but the first step, and we'll talk about those in the later steps, but the first thing is gauge interest. Is there enough people that you can have a critical mass of individuals? Because you can't conquer the world yourself. You can't start a chapter where it's you. You got to have that. You got to have that interest before you take those next steps. So that's step one, is gauging the interest of the local surroundings.
Well, I think it's, so I've gotten interest, right? I've gone to these, the head of the, the hospital, or whoever, academically, I've sought out people. Now I got to reach out to like people, right? Because, in order to have a chapter, it can't be just me, right?
Yeah.
So what do I have to have, right? You have to have 3, right? You have to have at least 3 members that are nationally or national dues paying members, correct?
Correct.
And so if we're looking at a hospital, does it matter who those are?
It doesn't. The direct answer is no. It does. I mean, it could be anybody. But I would say to have at least one individual be of senior leadership. We were very blessed at the Omaha chapters that we had the CNO, the director of surgery, the vice president of axillary services, and 3 nurse managers that all signed on.
Right. And these are people that aren't, most likely they're not going anywhere.
No. Right? Yeah. And then there was Kyle Plumer, who many of you may know is the regional membership chair for the regional Midwest committee. And it was him and myself and one other individual. So we kind of had like 6 off the bat. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. And if you have that core group, you got to have 2 or 3 individuals that are just really gung-ho about this and can do the operational stuff. But then the other individuals that they don't have to be as engaged, but they have to be supportive, whether it be with the dues or showing up to meetings, showing the frontline staff members that this is important and is very beneficial to their career. Those are the things that to build the environment for a chapter to thrive in. So I hope that answered your question, Mike.
Yeah. So just people, you need at least 3, right? So you want people that are going to hang around. And if you're at the academic level, obviously you're going to want to include maybe the nursing, the head of the nursing department, right? Mm-hmm. Or one of the professors, or at least somebody that's going to hang around because, you're not going to be in nursing school long, right? Mm-hmm. So as soon as you cruise on, you want to hopefully have sustainability with that chapter, right? And in order to do that, you're going to need somebody that's going to hang around and it's going to carry the torch. So, especially with all the mentorship that that we're going to be implementing, mentorship roles, and how to do that, and that again, that's just some of the things that are coming down the pipeline that we're really excited about. So that that's that, right? Mm-hmm. So you establish interest, with the higher ups, right? And then you kind of, reach around and gauge interest, and bring people in, share your vision, dude, there's just so many good things about having an AAMN chapter. And if I wasn't in nurse practitioner school right now and just loaded, by the way, my wife is going to pop baby number 5 any second. Any second now, right?
It could be 5 minutes from now.
It could be. She could come in right now and say, "Yeah, honey, my water broke." So that can happen right now.
Sorry, I got 5 more minutes. I'm telling us how to start.
Hold on. Just wait. Just close your legs. But anyway, so there's just so many great things about it. I would love to start a chapter locally, because there's just so many things I really, really would love to do at the local level, and with a chapter behind you, and or heading a chapter. There's just so many great things that you can get into. It carries a lot of credibility whenever you head a chapter, right? And you can have speakers come in, you can have professionals come in, you can speak. If you're not, maybe you want to become a speaker, maybe you want to get into speaking. What a great way to get started with something like that, and have your own chapter, man. Start doing some health talks, right? Recruit some people, bring some people. I mean, just so many cool things. So, I'm really looking forward to that aspect. I really would like to do that.
Yeah. So we've talked about, okay, we've got interest now. So I'm going to, because we've kind of developed this over time, and I will tell you, we may not have done it over, each place is unique, but what I've been finding it trend wise is how to start chapters successfully is to know your resources at AAMN and bring them to the table. And so if I had to give you a step-by-step breakdown of the process, I would say first, you gauge interest, send your emails out to, the listserv or the people or contact through having your senior leadership as a backing, contact HR or the student engagement and say, hey, can I have access to the email list so I can send this out? Or can I post these things around the units? Because get permission first and start setting up. Let's have a meeting, that first meeting. And it's a gauge of interest meeting. You're not a chapter yet, but see how many people show up. And what great chapters have done that have really gotten a boost at the very beginning is at that meeting, they've invited either myself or somebody else that can really speak, to AAMN.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah. And it only doesn't bring a good resource to the table. It shows you how serious you are about starting a chapter. And I'll tell you, I am more than willing. That's what's cool about technology. I don't got to fly anywhere. I can come on for 5 minutes and talk. Yeah, man. Right. Same with Mike or Brent or any of the board members. We will find somebody to be there. Don't worry about that. You just got to let us know ahead of time, know when it is. We got to make sure there's some logistics and making sure the technology works. And we usually use Skype. It's pretty easy. But have us speak at the beginning about welcome. Thank you for your interest. This is so cool. This is what we got going on. And then have your local meeting after that. Talk about what do we want to accomplish here? What are we going to serve as the chapter here? What value are we going to bring to ourselves and bring to the local community, health system, all those types of things? Because those are the things that they want to know and to see if it's worth their time and value of being part of the group. Right. And what I found is you'll get great feedback there and you'll kind of understand where you need to go. And then what I always tell people to do is after you get that part done, because I don't want to be involved in that. That's your guys' thing. I don't need to be, one of us doesn't need to be hovering technology wise over them and watching them do that. We want them to figure that out, but then call us back, call Mike who came or me, and let's debrief, and what did you hear? Where is this going? What do you think that this is something that's going to be a positive for the local community? And we can help guide you what those next steps are based off that feedback that people have provided you. That's the resource that we provide from national to you, so you don't feel like you're on an island, and that is brand new.
And I have to say, man, even this platform here is, man, I love social media, right? Because this is one of the biggest reasons that we created this group, so we can all come together and help each other. And we post things all the time, and other chapters post things all the time of maybe photos or pics of what they may have done last night, or maybe like live what's going on right now, pics. And it really gives you a lot of great ideas to implement with your chapter. And there's plenty of people here that you can network with and ask, hey, listen, what are you guys doing? Right. And I've actually created some events, specifically for our private group page, for people to kind of know, hey, what's going on? What's our calendar of events? So you can kind of get an idea if you just look at our calendar of events. Just some great ideas that people are doing out there. We have there's one that's coming up in July. I think Glenn Malecki, his chapter, they're going to be doing a mud run and they're putting together they're going to get all the guys are going to do this mud run together. How cool is that to bring a team together, or organization together? They have these have you ever seen these rooms where you go in and you got to break out of these, what is it called?
Escape rooms.
Escape rooms, man. Wouldn't that be cool? Get a whole bunch of guys together in the chat, escape rooms.
We've done that at our chapter.
You can learn how to do, right? Together, and it doesn't have to be all education, right? It can be fun stuff mixed in with some education or something, whatever.
Yeah, so, and this goes back to what are people in that specific group wanting to get value-wise? Because there's some chapters that are extremely good at having monthly speakers, just boom, 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 CEU after CEU after CEU. And if that's what people want, we can set that up. We can bring national speakers in month by month, even if it has to be technology-wise and we can't be there in person. Again, that's what our support bureau is being developed for. We have some of the most nationally renowned researchers and leaders in our organization, or through that network, we know individuals on the local level and everything who love to come and talk. We will find that for you. Reach out to us. That's what our regional structure liaisons are for. So if you're a chapter president, again, you are going to be assigned a liaison. And what they do is they sit on a regional committee and they talk back and forth. We collaborate. They're kind of your outlet to knowing exactly what's going on at national at all times, on top of all the things that we provide here on this Facebook page. But then they can provide you and, say, I want a speaker. And they're like, okay, we'll meet, as a group and we'll get back to you and we'll find somebody. Well, they come and they talk to, say, Mike, who's the Southern Regional Chair, and say, hey, so-and-so needs somebody on AIDS research or wants to do something on topic for AIDS. Okay. Well, then he comes to our national, monthly meeting where all the regional chairs and myself sit there, and Mike can say, hey, this chapter needs this. And I'm like, okay, I go to the board, boom, we find somebody, and then we connect them with you. So there's a process that's been put in place that has never existed before. And it's to connect you with all the wonderful individuals. Also, if you want to bypass all that, throw something on our Facebook group, because I guarantee you, we have 800 national dues paying members right now. That's always growing. We're on the uphill, but half of our membership is on this Facebook group. If you haven't noticed, we have 325 members. Yeah.
And counting. And counting.
We add about 10 people a week. And so we have plenty of people that would be more than willing to come and help you out. And so I would say that's for your first meeting. That's the resources. But if you don't want to be so structured, because there's chapters, I'll tell you, our chapter is a little bit different. I would say to sustain that engagement, though, what I told our group is let's have one project per year, one service learning project, or whether we're invested in or that we're supporting. One, don't overdo it. You don't want to. This is a volunteer organization. People are paying to be here. They aren't getting paid, so you don't want to take up too much of their time. But I said let's have one project that we work on all year long, or maybe it's just in the month of November, but we prep to that. We're working on that. But then let's have social events that we can do that informal networking on an every other month basis. And
what is that? So what does that look like? Give like one project.
So for example, for us, Omaha right now, we are actually helping pilot our leadership program stuff. Mm-hmm. So we are working with Nebraska Methodist College right now in Omaha to integrate into their curriculum things that are going to prepare people for committees and boards in their BSN program. Right. Not in addition to their BSN program, but inserted into the curriculum.
That's good.
Plus, we're working on utilizing our support bureau that we have for AAMN and diversifying the individuals that help instruct them. Because I will tell you, in Omaha, Nebraska, we don't have that big of a diversity in faculty, right? So what we're going to do is say for a certain topic, I'm on the AIDS topic again, but I know for a fact there's a couple individuals that are really into the age research, are highly published in that area, and one happens to be one of my mentors, Joachim Voss. He's a member. So then I would go out to him, for example. I haven't talked to him about this, and we're not saying we're going to do AIDS research as one of the pain points on this program.
By the way,
so Dr. Voss, I'm not coming at you right now. So, but if you're willing, we can talk about it. No, but then I have him say, hey, can you come and speak 5 to 10 minutes? What we'll do is we're going to take one of his research articles as a case study, read it when we're talking about autoimmune disorders, and then have the person come and answer questions for 5 to 10 minutes. Then you don't only have a national speaker come in and talk to you within your classroom of the curriculum you're talking about, but you also have a male faculty member coming to speak to you as well. And this doesn't just, we don't want to limit it just to males, male faculty. We want to be bringing in other diverse leaders so that anybody, even though maybe 1% or 2% right now of individuals at Nebraska Methodist, I don't know the exact number, so those are just made up numbers, that may be of minorities, they can see somebody that looks like them, is accomplished, and feel that sense of, oh my gosh, there's somebody out there like me, that I can do this. And then Nebraska Methodist gets to go out and say, we may not have in-house faculty, but through our program, we're not only preparing you to be a leader, we are bringing in faculty that's diverse in nature, because nursing is a diverse profession and there's so many diverse leaders out there. And so why don't we utilize technology to do this? And it only takes 5-10 minutes of time, to do that. And I know many of these national leaders, they love to talk about the research they're doing and how, all the things that they're doing. And I guarantee you that there were just the few individuals that I gauged said, hey, would this be something that you would even be in thinking about? They're like, yeah, that's a really cool concept. So we're going to pilot. We're hoping once that's piloted, that this is the AAMN standard that we can start rolling out to all of our chapters across the United States, but have it in a program toolkit where it can be easily replicated. And we can utilize, and people can be talking, and interconnecting all of our universities, because we're in somewhat competition with each other, for recruits and everything. But I hate to tell you, we have to turn away. What was that article that came out recently, Mike? We're turning away almost 50,000 qualified individuals into nursing school. We don't have
enough staff.
We don't have to compete against each other, because there's so many qualified people out there. We just don't have enough spots. So to me, that's not competition. And so we need to be working together to bring and prepare the next generation as much as we possibly can. And why not collaborate with all across the United States, bringing the national leaders on that certain aspect, of that certain teaching point, and bringing them to the table and diversify your nursing faculty by not even having to diversify your nursing faculty.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. That's a project. It doesn't have to be that big though. You could be doing a walk, do a cancer walk and getting a team together. Do a cancer walk. You could do, go to the food pantry together, go like we have a diabetes mobile unit. You go together and do the diabetes mobile unit, do something like that. That's a project. But then the rest is, doing that informal leadership group and peer mentorship, where you get together and go to an escape room, or you go to a baseball game together. And so the older students just have that informal time with the younger ones. And you'd be surprised the conversations that start when you're not so structured in nature. They start talking about class, start talking about professors. How did you get through this class? That's the true mentorship we really need to be having. We can have the formal stuff too, but people are really looking at, hey, what did you do during this time? And they're looking for somebody who's only one step ahead of them. And you need to have that environment. So have a barbecue, have, like I said, go to a baseball game together, go, to a Nebraska football game together. I don't, just, do those types of things that are not so structured. We're already so anxiety focused and so driven in the, when we go into school. Get some of those things that can get away from, we get some wusa time, take a deep breath, reflect together. That's the most important thing that I think that comes from our chapter, that every other month we do a social event and everything while we're working on one project. And then
how many times do you guys meet each month?
We meet, we used to meet about every month, but now that we're deep into this pilot, we're having so many meetings with that. We started meeting maybe every other month or even every quarter, because we're so involved in this project. But it's because we're all very busy.
Yeah. and like you said, it's volunteer, right?
Yeah. And so all you have to do is meet once a quarter to adhere to your chapter things, and you got to have, and at the end of the year you got to show that you did some sort of community work. Well, through that one project you did.
Yeah, right.
So start with that. Don't try to overdo it. I think a lot of people get together like, oh, I want to conquer the world in the local area. Let's do this, to have all these great ideas. But
yeah, right.
The best advice I ever got when strategic planning for anything is that do not select more than 1 or 2 goals for the year, and then do those very, very well.
That's good.
And then the rest of the time, find some time to just be together, hang out, bounce ideas off each other, and grow together.
Cool. What's next? What's next on our list here?
The last one. Oh, I think we kind of talked about it. And know your resources. So again, know your resources, know your leadership, know that AAMN's here. We talked about a little bit about the regional structure, and we're very serious about that. And many people are starting to find out who have utilized it so far that there's a lot of resources out there compared to what there used to be. And so you just got to ask, and we can help provide those. And
this is a good place to start right here. Mm-hmm. If you're on this group, you're ahead of the game. All you got to do is put a question out there, and you got people responding at least within a day, at least. Or I guess I should say at most, because a lot of times you'll get a response within an hour, 2 hours.
Through Facebook analytics, out of the 325 members, it's telling us 290 members are active. So that means they're looking at things, they're commenting on things. And that is just astronomical to me to know that we went from nothing to having almost half of our membership on a daily basis engaging. That is crazy.
And we're talking about national members, friends, okay? Because there's a lot of people who are involved in AAMN, and they're not national members, all right? So when we say we have 800 national dues-paying members, that doesn't mean that we only have 800 members.
Yeah,
there are
local members.
Tons and tons of members, thousands on the local level. Mm-hmm.
So talk to them and try to get them to be a national member, because there's so many more new benefits.
They really are. Really are.
So that's a little, just a quick, we could talk forever on how to sustain your chapter, and we maybe have some successful past presidents come on. I think that might be a great idea to interact with people, but that's the 30,000 foot view of how to create the chapter and kind of start your first part of sustainability. So,
and we have lots of stuff online. We have if you just go to our website, and we have a step-by-step guide there. And then we have chapter toolkits that you can look at right there online. We have even, for academic, we have like even group member pricing now.
Yep. And actually for both. For both.
Are they for
health
both?
systems.
I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say.
Yep. So we call it a stimulus package.
Package. Right. Yep. Great. That's a fantastic way of getting a whole bunch of people in to become, national dues paying members at a great price.
Yeah, it's kind of astronomical to any other national membership, and because we want people here, that's the point. We're not in the business of membership revenue; we're in the business of investing in others. And if we change that, we invert that around, the organization is not going to be successful in my mind. So, if you're thinking about starting a chapter, let us know. Reach out to us, and we hope that all of you feel engaged on our Facebook group, and that we're becoming one big family, because that's what this is all about.
It looks like Wes is on us. Hey, Wes, what's happening, big dog? Dr. Wesley Willis, everybody. Well, listen, guys, thanks so much for taking the time to come and visit with us tonight. We hope that if you have any questions, if you have any interest in starting your own chapter, or just have an interest in, getting some ideas that you can implement within your chapter, hit us up. We're right here. We want to help you guys any way we can. This should be fun. We all have jobs, right? This should be something fun that you enjoy doing. Something that everybody just really looks forward to each month, So anyway, awesome. My son, Noah, has just gotten home from basic training, Army basic training. So he went to Army basic training for a number of weeks, and then he went to, I think it's called AIT. For a number of weeks, he is an engineer in the Army, and he just walked in about an hour ago. And so I am going to bid all of you an adieu, and we're actually going to grab a workout here in a few seconds. So you may not see me ever again.
Yeah, I was going to say, so he's going to put you through the ringer is what you're telling me.
Yeah, right.
Because he's probably the best shape of his life. And Dad's going to try to keep up with him.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm going to go put some aloe vera on this suntan I've got from...
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I see it a little bit now. I see a little
red. Yeah, it's starting to come in. Yeah, going to turn like a lobster. All right. Well, everybody have a great week. We will see you. Well, actually, next week we are going to maybe move the day or
I think we might skip. Yeah, I will definitely not be here next week because I'm going to have a new baby for sure.
You're going to be it's Father's Day, and you're going to be a father times 5. I'm going to be out on the golf course like all the other fathers should be. If you're into golf, get on the water and enjoy your time. And we'll be back the next week. But shoot your questions on the thread below, because I know this topic is going to be a very important one for everyone. And let's continue this conversation because that's what this is all about. So,
right on.
See everybody later.
All right. Take care, everybody.